Hello and welcome back to another video. In this problem, we're told, suppose the graph of f is given. So I'm going to write it as y equals f of x. We're asked to write an equation for each of the graphs that are obtained from the graph of f as follows. So first, a through d, we have shifts. So vertical shifts occur outside of the function, horizontal shifts occur within the function. So what does that mean? 2 units upward is f of x plus 2. Compare this to 2 units to the left is f of x plus 2. Inside the function, outside the function. Upwards is plus 2, downwards is minus 2. To the left is plus 2. To the right is minus 2. And again, this is the difference between horizontal and vertical, is that in vertical, it's added after the calculation of the function. Here, it's done within the function. Reflecting about the x-axis and y-axis means you have to multiply by -1. If we do it about the x-axis, the negative sign goes out front. The y-axis, it goes within. The way I like to remember this is if you take f of negative x for x squared, then if you put in the negative outside, it's going to flip it over the x-axis. But if you put it inside and it flips it over the y-axis, then nothing happens because it's symmetric about the y-axis, and this works because negative x squared is equal to x squared. So that's just how I remember it, right? If you reflect it by doing f of negative x for this particular function, it's not going to change. That's just how I remember that. Maybe not necessary for you. Stretching and shrinking vertically by a factor of 2. This is a multiplication of the function by a number. If it's stretching by a factor of 2, we multiply by 2. If it's shrinking by a factor of 2, it's 1 over 2. For horizontally, it's within the function. And it's opposite. Stretching by a factor of 2 is 1/2 x. Shrinking by a factor of 2 is 2x. And the way I remember this is that the coefficients for vertically shrinking and stretching make sense, right? Multiplying by 2 is going to stretch it out more. Versus horizontally, it's backwards, right? You wouldn't think that multiplying values by 2 would cause it to shrink, but it does. So these are the different ways to transform a function based on what we learned in this chapter.